Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your mistimed services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Now, regular viewers who've kept up with current videos will know that in my previous video I mentioned this particular movie with regards to I was at a low ebb, low ebb, and I happened upon the score to this movie, Mutant. You know what it is from the bloody title of the video. Mutant from 1984. Richard Band did the score, and I was I was bored. Terrible, really naff week, and I thought, I'll just peruse all my score soundtracks amassed on this system here. I've got CDs everywhere up the wazoo and back. There's fucking millions of the bastards. And vinyl and all sorts, even cassettes. I've got cassettes. I'm the man who still has cassettes. And I found Richard Band's score for Mutant. I thought, oh, that's a great score. I remember this. And I love Richard Band's stuff anyway. You know, like Reanimator, From Beyond. I've got so many others. And I bunged it on, and wow, it blew me away. And I thought, I love the movie as well. I haven't seen it since the 80s. You know, I'm a very old twat these days. I must go and watch the film again, because I know that back, I'd be about 13, 14 years old when it came out in the UK in a great big box called Mutant. It was known as Night Shadows. Night Shadows. A really shit title. It's a great title for another kind of movie, but not for a zombie, plague-ridden, rabid, Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead rip-off sort of movie. Low budget, drive-in fodder. You know, Night Shadows isn't what this film does. Mutant's far better. But in the UK it was known as Mutant, and I had it on Betamax. No, I got it on VHS, and I loved it. Used to watch it quite a lot, as I remember. And so I played the score only the last couple of days, and I thought, oh, gotta watch it again. And discovered that I never actually rebought the movie. The advent of, you know, Laserdisc, VCD and DVD, then Blu-ray, and then of course 4K, UHD and all that kind of shit, and then plug into the back of your cerebral cortex, you know, fully immersive movie mode. No, I haven't actually got it. So I thought I must rectify that. So I bought the version you can see right there. And I said in the previous video, well, it's arrived and I'm going to watch it tonight and I'm going to review it after 30, 40 years, something like that. 40 years maybe since seeing it originally and loving it. And does it still stand up? And first things first, that version is not official. There is no distributor, no proper label on that. I bought it because it was cheap. Oh, Kilt-Man, how low can you go? I can go a lot lower, trust me. And it was nice and cheap. There was a Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray was European. I think it was German, and it says, you know, premium cult Blu-ray, uncut, you know, uncut Schminkeldens, you know, in German. And but it would take a while to get here, so I thought, screw that. And it had extra features too. I really wish I'd bought that, because that version is horrifically pan and scan. The dialogue is mixed so low, you've really got to crank the sound up on it. And you know, the picture's okay for a DVD, a DVD-R, I'd say that is. That's just, you know, we can just record it. When people order it, we'll record a new one. And off it goes, packaged up. Next day delivery. And but it looks shoddy as hell, and it sounds even worse. But you know, in a way, it didn't really matter, because you know, this is a film which a 4K UHD version, which apparently is supposedly in the works. Some company was doing it. I forget who. Whether it came out or not, I don't know. When it's about to come out, I'll see my arse and have to go and buy it all over again. But this is a film that's never meant to look great. It's pure drive-in stuff. This was on a double bill when it first came out in the States, on a double bill with something else I've forgotten now. In the UK, it played as, I think initially, theatrically wise, Night Shadows, and then was it didn't last long in theatres, and then it very quickly came out on home video as Mutant. Directed by, I always forget this guy's name because he's not exactly well renowned, John Bud Carlos. The Bud is always in quotation marks. John Bud Carlos, who replaced Mark Thingamajig from House on Sorority Road. Mark Roseman. Handy little notes to the side there. Mark Roseman was going to do this movie, and then I think timing schedules interfered and he didn't do it. So it got given to Bud the Chud. And yeah, look folks, I can't suddenly leap into this with huge amounts of gusto because, you know, that tsunami of nostalgia which we all love, of course, there's a huge disparity in years between me talking about it now and when I first watched it and loved it as a teenager. And I watched it a lot and really bigged it up to my friends and all that, like, you know, and I stood by it. And then as the years have gone by, I've kind of fallen out of touch with it and then rediscovered the score, and the score is phenomenal. It's the biggest score Richard Band ever did. Richard Band made for like you know, Castle films and Charlie Band and Stuart Gordon and Brian Usner, and does phenomenal scores, usually for a much smaller ensemble. But this, he had the National Philharmonic Orchestra from London, don't you know, who throughout the 70s and 80s were doing tons of genre movies. They were literally just licensed out to record big, bombastic, full symphonic scores for movies which, like this, perhaps didn't warrant them. And like, no, don't get me wrong, any film can have the biggest, most epic score that it wants, it craves. The music can often elevate a really lackluster movie to higher levels, as in the case here. But, you know, that said, it's also like, God, you were lucky. You were so lucky you got them. Richard Band, you got National Philharmonic, and wow, did they not deliver. It's a phenomenal score. Rich, full-bodied, exciting, full of suspense, elevates everything. And boy, does it have to do it. It's got a lot of heavy lifting to do for this movie. Now, okay, so what is the movie? A couple of city boys, brothers, Josh and Mike. Josh is played by Wings Hauser, who looks like a cross between Gary Busey and William Catt from House, and oh god, and he was the little guy from oh no, Ally McBeal, the little fella. Did I write his name down? Yeah, Peter McNichol, Biscuit from Ally McBeal, but also Galen from Dragon Slayer, which I've reviewed. He's got the big curly hair and he's got big goofy teeth, and yet Wings Hauser became a bit of a cult name. A lot of TV shows, other movie appearances, but TV shows. And he's a really likeable doofus, a big mop, curly-headed dude, but with stupid big slab-like teeth. But he's a winner. He's a winner. Him and his brother are going down south, a vacation, get away from all the stress and woes of the city. And of course, they go down to Georgia, or I'm not sure where it's meant to be set. It's filmed in a place called Norcross in Georgia. And so they're on some, like, you know, little road there. And of course, they meet the local rednecks, headed up by, I think the guy's called Albert or Al. And there's a girl in tow, and there's a fucking big, fucking baldy-headed dude there as well. And some others. The typical redneck clan of bastards. And, like, you know, but stupidly, our city boys are playing a bit of a prank on each other. And, like, you know, Josh, will you look at the road? The younger brother's like, will you just look at the road? He's going, I don't need to look at the road, he's doing this. And of course, suddenly they're right bearing down on this pickup truck, who are going like, you have to get around it. And like, Jesus, Josh, you won't look at me, you're going, idiot. So it is their fault. They have now incurred the wrath of the local heathens, who then spin around and catch up with them, start ramming them from behind, throwing beer bottles on the bonnet and all that, and they're going like, oh, fucking hell, what are you fucking doing? Like, we're just city boys. We haven't got a clue what we're doing around here, y'all. And they drive them off the road. So they go over the bridge, and they ram our boys off the road, who plummet down the side and go into like the river, just sort of nose into the river, and they manage to get out and like start hitchhiking back to anywhere civilized. This is Georgia. No offense. And they get picked up by some weird dude who's laughing and joking and giving it loads, and it's a big bouncy pickup truck and all that, like. And it's very similar to, in a way, American Wealth in London, to American boys in a place where they don't really belong, and they've got to put their backpacks in the back of a truck and get taken to a town which doesn't want them at all. Yep, yeah. But it's not just slaughtered lamb, it's much bigger than that. They get to town, and this guy drops them off. He's like, well, I've got to leave you here. And you can, I think it's called Goodland, the town. I can't remember. And it matters not. So just walk that way, you're in town. I go this way. Again, American Wealth, very similar. That way is East Proctor. I go this way. Good luck, lads. Stick to the roads. Beware the moon. Keep off moors. So they end up in town, and it's night time now. There's a tavern there, lit up in sleazy, sickly neon. Tavern is there, and they're kind of like, well, I want to find a garage. Someone's going to send a pickup and get our car back and fix it up and all that. Like, well, where are we going to go? And like, they hear noises, in the background behind a building or whatever. They've seen a drunk amble across the road, and he hasn't helped them at all. Like, but Mike hears like, it's like, Josh, something's happened there, and we've seen something. This shambling drunk, and suddenly a night shadow has come behind him, and something's happened. We don't know what the fuck's happened. Like, so Mike goes up to investigate, and he will find this guy, this drunk's body there, and he'll turn him over, and he's clearly dead, and he's kind of like, face has got a bit grey, a bit weird, and it really, none of these details really matter, but in one of these little fake scares, his brother comes up behind, oh, and he's like, Jesus, look, he's dead. Oh, we've got to get the sheriff, we've got to get the police, the guy's dead. Something's happened to him. Anyway, so in their endeavours to go and find authorities, they wander into the tavern, and who's in the tavern? They're trying to make a phone call to police, whoever, and who's in there playing pool? It's the same rednecks who drove him off the road. So a really, really subpar fisticuffs bar brawl takes place. Bar brawl. When I said that, then it didn't sound right to me. Bar brawl. No, that's right. That's right. And it's really naff. It's so, and the version that I've got there, Wings Hauser, he's the hero of the piece, and he's a bit more meaty than his younger brother. And he goes to slug some guy, and as he's holding the guy in that version there, his fist comes closer, and you hear boom. He hasn't even hit him yet. Boom! And then silence, and the guy goes. So the sound, the effects are mistimed on that version. It's only in that bit, to be fair to it, but it's still like, I thought, oh, you're kidding me. As if the pan and scan wasn't viciously nasty enough. I think Robert Eggers in The Lighthouse, it was like that. It was super boxed in. It's like, no way am I watching this. And it didn't really matter. But the sheriff turns up, And the sheriff is played by Bo Hopkins. Bo Hopkins, who was in loads of TV movies and TV shows, and a slew of movies too. He's the guy in the Wild Bunch that Pike and his crew of the Wild Bunch leave behind in the bank, the opening bank robbery. They leave him there. Shall we gather at the river? And he's like, he's got a pump action shotgun. Like, he's like, well, now fucking sing! And he gets blown away by the sheriff and the posse. Well, that's what I remember him from. But he's a very familiar face, and he's actually really good in this. He's an alcoholic sheriff. I'm not sure why, but I like him already. Boof! Cheers, y'all. And he runs that town. He's not vicious. He's a good guy, but he's well weary and cynical. And we'll find out from the captain in some other, the capital, whatever. The fucking, it's a little one horse, one street town, and he's in charge of that. They've got a high school there. They've got a big medical centre there. It's well catered for, apart from garages. But anyway, this sheriff, right, you boys, what the hell are you doing? And there's been a big fight. I've warned you before about this. Clean your act up and fuck off, whatever. But sheriff, we want to call you anyway because we found a dead body, and Josh, the big brother, Wings House, like, oh god, don't be doing this. But they take him out there, and there's a body lying there, the exact same place. Right, and the sheriff leans over, turns him over, and it's another drunk who's, hey, what the hell? Am I home now? Am I in bed? What are you doing in bed with me, sheriff? This kind of shit. Like, and they're going like, what the? That is not the guy that was here before, and it's really stupid. I mean, as if there's been a murder that's taken place, and then someone else, the body's gone. It's just a jump scare for the sake of a jump scare, which this film does a lot. Some are effective, some are less effective, and but none of them stand up in the cold light of dawn. And so he scares off the drunk, and he's like, "Listen, boys, are you taking the piss or whatever? No, I don't care what you see, I don't care what you know, but you're not welcome around here. But I'm a good sheriff. I'm not a twat, But so I'm going to take you to a B&B, a bed and breakfast down the road. Mrs. So-and-so will look after you. She'll give you a big hearty breakfast, but boys, once you've had that big brekkie, I want you guys gone, out of town. You understand me? Yeah, but sheriff, we've got to get our coffee. I want you guys gone, okay? Yeah, okay, that's it. No, Mike, let's just do it. So Mike and Josh. By the way, Josh is Wings House, and Mike is played by Lee Montgomery, who wanders around. He doesn't last long, much longer than this. He's the younger one, and he's had his plaid shirt, his lumberjack shirt, it's been open the entire time, showing off like a six pack, and he's not exactly muscle bound, but it's really, it's cheeseball the way it's done. He's just got this shirt open the entire time. I mean, he's got like sort of flouncy sort of fanny head, like a bit of all this stuff going on here, and anyway. So they meet the proprietor of the B&B, and she puts him up. The sheriff wants us gone in the morning, so just, he said a big breakfast. Well, you're all welcome here, boys. I'll show you to your rooms, and you can have this room here. Josh is like, yeah, on this bed. This seems good to me. Yeah, fine, no worries. Where are you going to put me brother? You're just down the hall. Down the hall. They shut the bedroom door to Josh, and literally they cover literally about 2 feet of distance. Another door. This is your room here. So Mike goes into that one, and Mike, what's going to happen now is like horribly. You see Josh Wingshauser in the tightest, horrible little 80s shorts, which are really wrong. Budgie smugglers. You couldn't hide your wings in those. And anyway, a bit of play fighting takes place, as brothers do. Do they? But Mike will be taken that night. He hears something under the bed, and he leans over and he pulls up the sheets and has a look under, nothing there. And then in the next scene, the next shot, all his hands come out and fucking drag him on. Whoa, he's under the bed. He's gone. So Josh Wingshauser, our hero, the next day can't find his brother. Asks the woman, "Where the hell's my brother?" "Oh, well, he must be around here somewhere." So he goes, but he then goes into town to look for his brother. It's just bear with the film, because it's so fucking stupid. Like, I'd be like, hang on, he was in that room, we didn't leave here, he wasn't going to go anywhere, we'd be together. Old crow, where's my fucking brother? Where the fuck is he? I would be like that. Oh, and it's like, well, maybe he's gone out for a walk. You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't. But anyway, so Josh goes out for a walk into town, and he goes back into the tavern. He finds the garage. The garage is closed, and closed forevermore by the looks of things. It's a bit of a ghost town, to be perfectly honest. And so he goes into the tavern, which is actually open, but there's no one there. They had the big fight there the night before, and he goes back in there. "Hello, anybody here? Anybody here? Hello." And another little stupid jump scare. The door opens, and there's this the love interest suddenly appears now, whose name is, which I have completely forgotten, Holly Pierce, played by Jodie Medford. Jodie Medford, went on to a glittering career, didn't she? Plays Holly Pierce with a headscarf on and not looking very glamorous. Is the place open? And she's like, yeah. Look, I just want to look at my brother. We were here last night and looking at. Well, no one's been in here, so while I'm here, can I have a beer? So the bud comes over, and they get nattering. And she goes like, "Well, I'm actually a school teacher, and I'm not really meant to be here. I work the place with my uncle, whatever his fucking name is, and I look after the place. But no one's here, so do you want me to help you look for your brother?" And then she takes the headscarf off, and this lovely long blonde hair suddenly cascades down, and like, oh my god, she's gorgeous. And she goes like, "I'm sorry how I looked before. Do I look better now?" And he's like, "Yeah, you look better. You look sensational." Oh, fuck off. It's just, one of these cringy moments of which these early scenes, which I say early scenes, sadly a lot of the movie, the first hour is all of these cringy scenes. Yeah, seriously. Cheers, y'all. "Well, I've got to go to the school to check up on Billy, Bobby, Barney," whatever the fucking lad's name is. Because you've got this, the school's not even open, there's no one at school, because the town is having issues with people are falling sick, people are not, they're disappearing. Things are happening in the town. Should have said that actually, shouldn't I? Things are happening in the town. It's a bit of a ghost town. But so he goes to the school with her, and they find Billy, I think his name is. And do you know who it is? It's Carrie Guffey, who plays the little lad in Close Encounters. Almost 9 years before, no, 6, 7 years maybe, before making this movie. And he doesn't look much older in this, and his acting hasn't improved. In fact, he was far better in Close Encounters when he was a little kid. And but there's this lad there. It's like, "Billy, what are you doing here?" Is it Billy? Is it Billy? Billy, yeah, played by Carrie Guffey. And he's in the classroom saying, "Well, my mum and dad aren't there." "What do you mean your mum and dad aren't there?" "Well, there's no one in the house. I just came to school, and no other kids are here. I'm here on my own. I'm scared." And you can see she goes, "Oh, Billy, come." And I watched this last night, and I thought, inappropriate behaviour. No boy is going to complain about what she does, but she hugs him to her breast, and her hands do move up and down his body and rub him in close. And I thought, what? There's placating someone and making them feel at home and reassured, and there's also inappropriate behaviour. Anyway, but she goes, "Oh, I'm sure you and Dad have just gone shopping." It's so stupid. Mum and Dad have gone. There's no one there now. I'm all alone. I woke up this morning alone, and oh, they'll be fine. They've gone shopping, as if that's a normal thing. They just left you there to fend for yourself and go to school without leaving in a note or even waking up and telling you or taking you with them. What bullshittery is this? But this is a town full of bullshittery. People are going missing left, right and centre, and people are looking strange, and people are acting bizarrely. So I forget now what happens next, because who really cares? What is happening? The sheriff, they go. What happens now? There's a doctor in the medical centre in town, Dr. Myra Tate, played by Jennifer Warren, and she and the sheriff have had a bit of a ding dong. They've been together, and albeit briefly, but they think they split up. I think you get told this. They split up about 3 months before, but they're still they're still friends. And she's the medico, and stuff happens. Nothing fucking particularly amazing. They will go to school again, and Josh will encounter. They hear a noise. Oh, hang on a minute. It might be the same sequence actually, where they met Billy and they put Billy in the car, or whatever. But they hear a noise down below in the boiler room. And so he goes down there and he starts probing around, and a body falls out of the ceiling, as bodies do, And it's a young girl who's all grey with huge amounts of black eyeshadow, and almost like she's seen the Medusa. She's the Gorgon. She's turned to stone. She's there with sort of big, sort of greyish black wounds on her face and all that And as she's the big bully, the big redneck twat, happens to be caretaker there. He comes out of nowhere, and you've got another fight with crowbars and fucking steel pipes. That makes it sound a bit exciting. It's not at all. It's just clang, 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 stumble, bang your head, clang, 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 and you killed that girl. Clearly didn't kill the girl. Anyway, he does a runner, and the thug gets arrested by the sheriff. The sheriff turns up with a few other deputies and all that, and the medico turns up there, the girl they used to go out with, Dr. Myra, and then they've got the body there, and he's phoning the captain, and he's like, look, Captain, a lot of strange shit's happening in this town. We've got people going missing. We got these two redneck. No. We've got a town full of rednecks. We've got 2 city boys in here. One's gone missing. And then we've got this girl. Captain, you've got to send more people out here. I can't do this on my own. He's like, no, I've got a 1011 and a 933 and a 1965 and to deal with. Just get the body to the coroner's office in town, in the city or whatever. Get the body there. And he's like, oh, okay. Hangs up and you've got to remember this sheriff's alcoholic. There's a little, one of them small bottles which you don't see me knacking. It's always the bigger bottles. He's got a little bottle, and it's bourbon. It's not Scotch, put it that way. Cheers to all the alcoholic sheriffs out there battling evil around the world. Cheers, y'all. And it's right, I'm going to put the body, take it to the coroner's, and his ex, Dr. Myra, goes I've got no idea what's happened to this body. I don't know how she's died, but that guy didn't kill her. Whatever the redneck saying, he did not kill her, because I've seen this before. Other complainants, other victims who have got ailments and that but this is far more advanced. I think I've given them more lines than she actually says in the scene, but she says this incredibly bizarre line. She goes, just, can I have the body till tomorrow? This town is such a fucking weird place. Can I have the body till tomorrow? Please, let me keep the body. please, Sheriff, you know, remember what I did for you? You had my body. You know, can I have this body? And he goes, I shouldn't do this, but, well, okay, Myra, you know, but first thing in the morning, when you've done what you gotta do with that body, you get it shipped off to the coroner, ASAP. Capiche? You know, it's like, will do, Sheriff. Yeah. What's this town coming to? Jesus H. Christ. I picked the worst day to stop drinking, didn't I? Oh, look, shit happens, and Dr. Mara does tests on the body, and like, well, and what does it really matter? Because what is going to transpire is Josh and Holly, is it Holly? Holly Pierce, the barmaid cum school teacher. That's the most ridiculous character ever. She's there at it's early morning and the tavern's open, no one's in there, but she's there. The guy who runs the place, her uncle, is not there. And I'll take this off and like, wow, look, I'm so gorgeous. I'm actually a school teacher. So what are the hours that she does? Does she work? I don't know. Don't know. What's it matter? But they're driving along again, Josh and because Josh, who was blamed for the murder of the little girl, hid in the backseat of her car, and like, so he springs up behind another little fake jump scare. Whoa, and she's like, whoa, Jesus Christ, the fuck you doing back there? You know, look, something's happening here. You know something's happening. You know I didn't kill that girl. And that's the thing. She was right there with him. There's no way he killed that girl. It's just a stupid little setup. But, you know. Anyway, it's like, well, what's going on in this town? Well, there is that company called New Era, who are like, they've set up just outside of town, and it's all chemical stuff. We'd all be like, what? Boom! Chemicals, little redneck rural town that could be forgotten about, and it's big pharma, some pharmaceutical company using a little local company to do their dirty work. All these signposts are like fucking, you know, lit up like constellations and supernovas. So they drive up to a chain link fence, you know, deadly force will be used, or whatever it says, like, you're under surveillance now. And they're forming an attachment now. Yeah, you can see it's really naff as well. It's so naff, but it doesn't really matter, does it? And so look, just give me 15 minutes. 15 minutes, I'll be back. Josh, you'll be back, won't you? 15 minutes. I promise you, I'll be back. He climbs over the tiniest chain link fence. This is meant to be some kind of like chemical fucking, you know, I don't know, facility, and like under watchful eyes and, you know, deadly force armed guards and all that, like, and it's a little tiny fence. He's over it in a nanosecond, and off he goes. And this place, folks, don't go thinking it's some kind of like, you know, facility with like great big fucking high walls and perimeters and, you know, roving guards and jeeps and all sorts of stuff. Like, it's a warehouse. It's literally a soap opera, a UK Emmerdale farm style farm and silo and irrigation system. You know, it's tiny and reclusive. Probably the best way to hide something which is nefarious is to hide it in the most sort of mundane of you know, surroundings. Maybe that's why they've done it. Don't know. But it looks shit naff, and it looks like something like the A-Team. Literally, it's like the A-Team who've encountered a bunch of moonshiners who are putting the heavies on the local townspeople. So the A-Team under, you know, Hannibal and Faceman have loaded up, you know, mortars with cabbages and stuff like to fucking take them out. And it's just like it's a corrugated shed. Well, that's what you've got here. This is the big toxic waste thing, which is the root cause of all the shit in this town. They're pumping toxic waste into, well, you don't know. They have like they're in a warehouse, and they've got people in hazmat, really low rent hazmat suits, who are pushing barrels and things like. And there's a great big hose, and there's a hole in the floor, and they're pumping this shit into it, like, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Our boy Josh Wingshauser climbs up and gets in through like a little window at the top, and he's watching all this taking place. And the guy that gave them a lift to town is the guy in charge of this facility. Yeah, whatever's, you know. And there's a twist for you. Thing is, when he dropped them off before he took a detour, like town's that way, I go this way. Once he dropped them off, he picks up like a radio, a CB radio, and he goes like, yeah, got 2 city boys, I've dropped them off outside of town, you know, I'm coming in now. You're like, well, okay, what's that about? Well, now you know, he's part of this fucking company, New Era, they're called. And Josh is watching all this, and clearly this stuff is what's making people go crazy and wild and stuff, you know, people are dying. And he's come down this ladder, and in a really Leviathan and, you know, really stretched out moment of suspense, you see the ladders giving way, and screws come out, and he's like, he's watching, and you hear dialogue, and it cuts back to this thing coming even more loose. It goes on for ages, and then finally, whoa! It comes in and he falls. No, god damn it! Who's the fuck is this motherfucker? Nail that sucker now! And they pick him up and grab him, and there's a bit of a fucking fisty fist stuff like going on, and like, you know, we're gonna throw him in there. You know, you see what you came to see. Well, now you're gonna be in there with it. I'm making up dialogue about it because the dialogue doesn't mean fuck all. It doesn't really tell you anything either. These guys are twats. They're pumping toxic waste into something which is now making people in town turn into something else. You don't know how it's working. Is it in the water supply? Is it in the air? What happens? What happens? How do you get bitten and you become infected? What? You don't know. You don't know. Doesn't really matter. You know, like, yeah. And anyway, Holly. Is it Holly again? Yeah, Holly, yeah. I forget the fucking names. She drives through the corrugated iron, the big shuttered door. Boom! In a big action scene. And swivels the car around, skittling people. And like, there's a great big hose full of toxic waste, which Wingshauser picks up and fucking fires people in. He blows them into the air, this hole with all the toxic waste is in. And don't you want to see them go and melt? You don't. You see nothing like that. And he manages to dive through the back window. Drive. And like, they swivel around. We're not talking John Wick here. This is really low rent stuff. But in a way, it's great. It adds a huge amount of suddenly action comes out of nowhere, and they make a big getaway. But I think they've killed a few people in there as well, and even the big wig. I think he's took a fucking dive into this thing. I'm sure he has. I can't remember. You don't see him again anyway. But they go back and like, well, we're gonna rescue Billy and we're gonna see my granddad, and because granddad or uncle, one of the two anyway. I'm sure he was the guy that owned the pub, the tavern. But we've seen Holly give him. He's in bed. He's like, oh, this is earlier on. He's like, oh, I don't feel that. Oh God. I'm feverish and all that. And he said, well, here's your breakfast, Grandpa, and whatever fucking hell he is like. And I've got to go to work, or whatever he's doing, working the fucking pub, working the school. It's all my arse. And but while this has all been going on, there's a sequence where the blankets come back and you see his face, and one of the only effects moments in the movie, because this is not a gory film. There are no real effects in it at all. There just simply aren't, folks. But it wasn't built like that, and I don't think I'm not got a problem with that at all. To be honest with you, it's not a Romero movie. It's not a Fulci movie. It isn't like that. It's not gory at all. But you do see a bit of lumps and bumpiness on his head, pulsating prosthetics, which look a bit shit, to be honest. They're really low rent. Giving it loads on his fod, and then he pulls the duvet back over his head. But when she goes up there, like, to see him, well, I've got everything jumbled up, but it doesn't really matter. I think they've met the sheriff. Oh, that's right, they've met the sheriff, and they said like all this shit's happened. So they all go together to her house, and this guy's now become a toxic mutant, and he attacks her, and he gets blown away by the sheriff who is there as well. Oh, look, does it really fucking matter? Everyone's now becoming a mutant zombie type thing. And when you're a mutant zombie type thing in this movie, it means you get like a waxy grey sort of makeover, lots of black eyeshadow, a bit of a fright wig going on. I don't get it. And you kind of, I think you're hot to touch as well. So if you have something or you find something off these people, it's hot to touch, I think. The sheriff has found that first body, that the drunken guy that suddenly became a hobo, a vagrant, and was alive. The sheriff, like, obviously, you two boys, you're talking shite, but he sees like yellow goo on the deck, and he scrapes some of that up, puts it in a little jar, and takes it to his doctor friend, and she analyses that, and it's just whatever the fuck that is. It's toxic weirdness. Doesn't matter. And so they know shit's going on. So people are all getting transformed into these cadaverish things. Think Carnival of Souls. They look a bit like that, and they're not frightening in the least. They're very sort of what's the other thing they look like? Oh, do you remember Porky's 2 the Next Day, where they do the boogie 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 boogie? If you've seen the film, you know what I mean. He's dressed up like a zombie. It looks like that. These zombie type mutant things look like that. They're not frightening in the fucking least. Dr. Myra has been doing, an autopsy on the body of the little girl. And she's got, I think he's called Vic. Her assistant Vic is in the background, and this is quite cute. This, to be honest, it's fucking pantomime stuff. But she's talking there, blah blah blah. Blood count is this and then Vic, can you pass me the scalpel? Vic, and in the background, he's now turned into a. It doesn't matter how you become one of these things. It just happens. Like, just go with it. Vic's gone all suddenly grey with big black eyeshadow. Ooh, and he's right behind her. He's like, and she has a massive fight with him, and then she runs out that room down a corridor, and she's throwing gurneys and fucking things over, and he's getting all like fucking ooh. And if you wanted it, you just fucking leap over and grab it. But anyway, he does corner at some point, and as things will transpire, you're going to have multiple attack points once you've realised what's going on. Josh goes into the basement of the B&B, again trying to find his brother, who's been missing all this time, remember? And he threatens the old woman who ran the place. He's like, where's my brother? Well, I don't know, maybe he's in the basement, and basically pushes him into the basement, and she locks the door, and he goes down there. It's very Evil Dead style, very Night of the Living Dead style, and he's prowling around, and he finds bodies everywhere. Dead bodies. And he finds his brother there. Oh, there's Mike. Oh, Mike's dead. And then Penelope makes an appearance. Penelope is the daughter of the B&B proprietor, and he has to battle her and all that fucking nice fucking punching and all that shit, like, and it's going on for ages. And he manages to get out, and what he does, however he does it, I can't remember how he does it now. He manages to get the woman who owns the place, and he throws her down the stairs, and then shuts the door and locks her in with her own daughter, who's gonna fucking kill her. Like, good luck to you, you bitch, and all that. Like, and in the meantime, so there's his little set 2. You've had a set 2 in the medical centre, and you get a set 2 in the school, because Holly goes back to the school to get Billy again. If you guys have watched it, I watched it last night, and I can't remember how this fucking works out, all the timeline and why, who, what, where, fucking who cares. But she goes back to the school, And Billy's in. Billy the kid, who's lost his folks. And Carrie Guppy, who's been spat out by the little ETs from Close Encounters, like, we don't fucking want him anymore. Christ almighty, pain in the ass. And and he's in there, and she finds him in the toilets. And what's she doing in the boys' toilet room? Very inappropriate teacher she is. And in a rather alarming sequence, you get suddenly a huge bunch of mutant zombie kids. Where the hell they've been? Because he is saying, well, no one's in school anymore. I'm the only one here. Mum and Dad have gone, and all my mates have gone. But they're all there. But it's a great shock scene, and it's actually quite intense. That they're trying to, she tries to drag him to safety, and they go above the toilet cubicles, and all these clutching mutant zombie hands like that, and they're all like, and it's pretty intense. And they get him. they get the lad, and they drag him down, and they drag him under the door, the toilet cubicle, and he's gone. But Wings Hauser, Josh, gets there and climbs up above, and he's fucking booting kids in the face. Fuck off. Boof, zombie kids. And he's fucking stepping on fingers and all that. And he manages to get Holly, and the two of them get out. They manage to get out of there. And they get to the medical centre, and they find, because that's where the sheriff was. Oh, the sheriff has found Myra's body, because they split up, they got together, the sheriff and Josh and Holly, and then they've all well, we're gonna go here, you're gonna go there, and fucking whatever. We'll all meet up back wherever. They've all had little incidents, but the sheriff has found the body of Myra, Dr. Myra, who he had a little fling with, and he's like, oh shit. And then suddenly zombies attack him, and he manages to barricade himself away, and then we don't see him again. So, but what happens is Josh and Holly get there, and they find his hat, his badge, and I think his torch, and oh shit. So he's gone. And then where do they go? They go somewhere afterwards. They're in the car, and I think they're trying to. I don't know what they're doing. They end up in the fucking diner or wherever the hell they end up. And how's this work now? Right, this is actually a genuinely great sequence. Josh goes in somewhere to do something, and I forgot. I think this is where he finds what he thinks is the death of the sheriff. She's sitting outside in the car. Got it. She's sitting outside in the car. Now, I'm going to play the music to this sequence. If the mouse will actually work, and I can fucking do it. Stay in the car. The town is full of mist. It's a nice touch, which, it doesn't make any sense. No one says why it's so misty all the time, but it's misty all the time. So you've got these big swirling mist clouds, and in a really great moment, she's sitting there in the car, and she's alone. He's gone in, and the mist is surrounding the car, and the camera from different angles will move slowly into her as she's sitting there nervous, looking around. Then it'll cut to a different angle, and it'll gradually creep into it again, and then from a different angle again, and intercut with Josh, finding evidence of mayhem. But we know something's going to be in that fog, and it's really, really well done. Credit where it's due. That is great suspense. However, Bud Carlos undercuts it and ruins it a little bit. Having done the slow sort of moving in like that on her from different angles, he then scuppers it by having shots where she's just static going like that. Which definitely, watching it, you kind of get drawn into it, and then they go to these static shots, and you go, oh, you've lost it there. You've took the edge off it. You've lost that little creepy momentum. But anyway, you guessed it. Lots of zombie hands and mutants come out of the fog. and suddenly they, with their hot hands, and their hands, I should say, one of the few, apart from the pulsating knobbly bobbly head, you get like their palms split open for some unknown reason and ooze out yellow fluid. If it was red, it would be more effective, but it's this yellow toxin fucking thing, like, and they piss all this stuff out, like, but they touch the glass and their hands melt the glass and come through, and that is actually pretty good. And you're like, oh shit. Josh comes out and, like, you know, fucking fight and fucking get in the car and beat these things off, and it is pretty exciting, to be honest. And they're driving down the road and the fucking things they're all hoarding after them like that, and one leaps on him, I think from nowhere, and they overturn the car, and this creature, zombie mutant, flies through a window of a storefront. But that's pretty good. It's very low budget, but you know, you think, well, you're trying stuff here. You're reaching, you know, for stunt and excitement, shenanigans, and it kind of works. But then you get this sequence. Oh, and it's horrible. It really is. It's wretched. Josh and Holly get into wherever the hell they are. Oh, it's the tavern again, and they start making Molotov cocktails, and you get this excruciatingly long sequence of the two of them sitting there, and you know, and she's like, really bad acting, really bad acting. Josh, I don't know. Holly, you've got to keep it together. Come on, let's make these Molotov cocktails. Just push the rags down there, and you see her for ages trying to prod this piece of fucking flannel down at the bottom of the neck. Well, he's done about 3 or 4. Right there, this right, done. And she's going, but Josh, it's so wretchedly awful. I just picked her up like, well, fuck you then. Out the window with you. Have her. Fucking have her. Jesus Christ, you know, trying to fucking save the day here. I know, got these Molotov cocktails going here. For fuck's sake, you know, you can't even do fucking one. But it goes on for ages, and I, oh God, how to completely, you know, ruin all suspense in one fell go. So anyway, and then I think if I remember rightly, the redneck who caused all the shit with the brothers in the first place, I think he turns up and he's like a fucking, you know, a zombified bastard, and big scrap takes place. But what happens next is like, I think they take him out. The zombies all, because they've heard the kerfuffle, and the zombies, mutants, all converge on this place, and they start diving through windows, and they've got a shotgun, and they're blasting with a shotgun and all that, and but these things are a relentless horde. You've got literally about a 5-minute sequence of really, whoa, fucking hell, they're really going for you, and R2 are like that, bang, bang, and fucking Molotov cocktails, and like, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. People are on fire and all that, like, but they're flying through windows, and all these hands are coming for them, and they're right hemmed in the corner, and then suddenly big blinding lights from headlights illuminate the entire sequence, and the zombies are like, they don't like gremlins, like bright lights, bright lights. They don't like that at all. I forgot to mention that. I know. Does it really fucking matter? They're all like and the captain and the sheriff is still alive. He's managed to get all the evidence to the captain, who now believes him, and suddenly you've got a huge armada of coppers out there with fucking shotguns, bang, bang, and boo, boo, boo. Lots of repeat shots of the same female copper, bang, 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 and they're blowing all these fucking zombie things away. Don't go looking for headshots and gore. You don't get it. There's squibs going off, but there's no fucking blood. There's not. A bit of yellowy, sparty stuff, like, but it's not at all. But it's a great big payoff, and they do wipe out quite a contingent of infected bastardos. And like, what I should have said, the sheriff, as did say, was alcoholic, and he gets suspended throughout this because remember he was meant to that body, the little girl in the school, get that off to the coroner's office right now, and but the doctor who was having a little fling with says, like, you know, can I have that body for one night? Wrong. So many wrongness in this movie, and inappropriateness, and he goes, oh, I shouldn't do this, but yeah, you've got to get it back to the coroner in the morning, blah 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 blah, and but he's confessed that to his captain. He's a sheriff, but the captain in the other fucking city, state, or fucking whatever it is, like, has all the authority. Doesn't make one bit of sense. But he's seen evidence of him drinking, and he goes like, you know, that kid you shot, you were drunk. I went out on a limb. We did you a favour giving you this job. If you thought for 1 second he was drunk and killed someone, you wouldn't be giving him a job like that. But anyway, that's by the by. And now they're all friends. But because he didn't give the body to the coroner, the captain got him suspended. So at the end, he's like, yeah, you did a good job there, and your job's back. And I'm not sure if I saw this correctly or not, because he's not wearing his badge. I think Sheriff Will takes the badge out of his pocket and goes like, you can fucking shove that up your ass. I can't tell. That pan and scan version, I couldn't see what he gave him. I'm presuming it was the badge. Bit of Dirty Harry at the end. Dirty Harry just fucking throws his San Francisco Police Department badge into the fucking river. And he had enough of all this shit. And then came back for several more movies, obviously. So it's like, and then the three of them sort of walk, him, Josh and Holly walk off and like, hey, we saved the day. Listen to this. That's a bigger score. This is the finale, when they've won the day. It's beautiful, it's lush, it's really deep and melodic. It's much bigger and better than the film that it actually serenades. God. Anyway, so the film will end with a bit of a coda saying like, the company have now found another town to work in. So it's gonna go on, and the film, I said in a previous video that it had a sequel, Mutant 2. Now, here's the thing, folks. It didn't. There's no sequel to Mutant or Night Shadows. But what there is a film called Alien. Believe it or not, it's called Alien Predators. A bit of foreshadowing there, and it's nothing to do with this movie. But in the UK and in other, I think, European provinces, territories, it was known as Mutant 2. Mutant II, Roman numerals, Mutant 2. And I said, I remember seeing Mutant 2 as well, and I'm really enjoying that. Well, that is not a sequel to this movie, and it stars Lynn Holly Johnson as well. Lynn Holly Johnson, of course, is the ice skating diva from For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore as James Bond 007, and yeah, I remember really nothing about that movie. But back at the time when I was loving this movie when it first came out on UK Home Video, I did manage to get out what was known as Mutant 2 at the time, and I remember loving them both, really having a great time with both movies. But I remember fuck all about Mutant 2, and I certainly haven't got it now. Mutant, this one, it's crap, folks. It's absolute shite, and yet it's a very difficult film to dislike. You couldn't hate it. You never hate on this movie, but it's I like a lot of it. It's got a lot going for it. It's very ambitious. The pacing has issues, but there's fights, bar fights, brawls, car chases, zombie onslaught. There's creeping around places. It's got lofty ambitions and ideas, most of which don't really work out brilliantly, but enough do, to warrant your interest. I don't know why I loved it so much when I was a wee teen. I don't know. Maybe it's just... No, I don't know. I really can't think of a reason. There's no nudity in it. No nudities in it at all. No boobies, nothing like that. There's no gore. But you do have lots of scenes of suspense and people trapped in horrible, little claustrophobic situations and having to get out of it. And at the end, they only get out because the posse rescues them with illumination and shotguns, and it provides a reasonably exciting finale. It does build up. There's mystery and suspense to it. The story does not hang together. You don't know what the fuck this stuff is doing, where it's come from. You've got no idea about any of that. But it is what it is. It's a film of really naff nighttime scenes. You get a lot of walking around the town in daytime and the car chases and stuff in the daytime. And investigatory stuff, just meeting the sheriff and fucking blah 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 in the daytime. But a lot of it takes place at night, and you got lots of creepiness going through basements, going through darkened areas. But the thing is, these dark areas are not dark at all, and you've got people with torches. It's so well lit, you don't need a fucking torch. There's even sequences where with Holly and her uncle or grandfather, whoever that fucking this guy who mutates in the bed is, he's like, oh, turn the lights out, please, turn the lights out. And so she goes, oh yeah, we'll do. And flips the light switch. And it's you've seen it a million times in TV shows. This is what you get the world over. It's so naffly done. It's dead well lit. They turn the light off. It suddenly dims slightly, but another light source comes on so you can see what's happening. And that's symptomatic of all the dark, creepy scenes in this movie, in the basements or in the school or wherever, creeping around anywhere. It's well lit and they've got torches on. It looks ridiculous. It looks fucking ridiculous. There is a prologue to this and an opening scene where, and this is ridiculous as well because it doesn't get mentioned at all ever again. A deputy is creeping around the basement of I'm presuming it's the B&B that they get put up in, where Penelope, the zombified daughter, resides, and the woman who looks after the B&B is basically just, she's allowing people to be killed by her daughter. I don't fucking know. But you see a copper going through the basement and all that, and then suddenly he gets picked up by the throat by something unseen, and it's and his legs, he's doing the rebel commander thing, on the blockade runner, and that's the opening of the movie. Nothing said about that ever again. There's no missing deputy who's being talked about. What's that about? It's a shock opening scene, but it's just, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. A deputy's gone missing, and no one raises a fucking eyebrow whatsoever. I don't know, folks. I really don't know. It's great to revisit this movie. I struggle to think why I held it in such high regard when I was a teenager. I'd seen far better, infinitely better, and infinitely gorier, and just better movies all around. The poster's misleading as well. It kind of gives the small town with a ghostly sort of effect in the clouds. You're thinking of some kind of cosmic element to this, which it clearly isn't. It just isn't. So, affinities, Return of the Living Dead with toxic waste, of course, creating zombies. George Romero's The Crazies, again, a toxic waste. It's not toxic, it's a chemical which gets spilled out into the rurals and causes people to go completely crazy. And Rabid for David Cronenberg definitely harks upon those. And of course the entire zombie genre. But they missed a trick by not being gory, by watering it down like that. This film could have been, as hokey as fuck as it is, if people were getting literally fucking ripped apart, because these mutants, I should have said this, but it means nothing in the whole helter-skelter of the story. They need blood to survive. So you will get scenes of people like investigating houses, and the fridge has been opened up, or anything red meat, it's been oozed and sucked dry and all that. They need blood. Well, if they need blood, why aren't we seeing them doing that to people? You're not seeing it at all. Was it effects? You just couldn't do it. Were you just too terrified of the MPAA coming down on you for gore effects, of which there is literally zero gore effects apart from the slit palms, which just ooze yellow. No. As we know with Predator Badlands, well, different coloured blood means nothing. You can do anything if it's different colour. If it's not red, get out of fucking murder. Literally, cinematic murder. If it's green or yellow or blue, In the UK, this film, Mutant, is an 18 certificate. It was back then, and it still is now. For no reason at all. This, I kid you not, we have a 15 certificate. It doesn't need that. A 12A certificate. This film should be. Is there swearing in it? I think there might be a little bit. Not much at all. No sex at all. No nudity, and hardly any violence or gore. I've already sold this one to you, haven't I? Oh no. And yet it has a bit of chintzy charm to it as well. And there's a level of ambition there. And Bud Carlos, certainly directorially, whether he's really behind all these scenes or not, I don't know. I don't know what else he's done. I didn't check, didn't look. Don't really care. But that scene with the car and the fog around it builds up really well, and it's intercut with another guy searching somewhere else. It ramps up suspense quite spectacularly well, and you just wish there was more of that. That showed real promise there. Sadly, it's very late in the day, because literally, when that sequence takes place, you've got about 10 minutes more of film, and most of that is spent with Holly, hold it together, Holly, I need Molotov cocktails, Holly, and she's gone. Trying to push the rag down. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. I just fucking. Oh. Anyway, Mutant, folks, it's out there. It's probably on YouTube. You can probably just watch it on YouTube for nothing. Should you want to? Should you need to? I don't think you need to, do you? I've done my bit. I've now paid my penance. It's funny how you look back with rose-tinted goggles on the films of your youth, and by and large, or TV shows of your youth, and I Mutant's one of the very few films which I haven't revisited for so many decades, and most of the films I loved when I was young, I still love now, because I've watched them continually, over the period of time, and I still love and adore them. Only literally, there's not many that I loved as a kid that I don't love even to this day. Mutant is gonna fall into a sort of subcategory of things I loved when I was a teenager, and now I just go, shit, yeah, it's okay, I suppose. Oh, I really wish I could give it it's awesome. It isn't. It's okay. But the score, oh man, the score, listen. It doesn't deserve this. Wings Hauser's great, although the acting in this movie, and there's no way I'm ever going to say Wings Hauser is a great actor or was a great actor. but he was just someone lovely to have, because you knew who he was, and he had that kind of charisma and that goofy face that he could play a hero, he could play a sleazebag, he could play a villain, he could play anything really. Maybe not so brilliantly, but enough to be like, I know this guy, I like this guy, and that's enough. That's enough. So, Mutant, folks, if you can find it, if you can be arsed. I've probably missed bits out, but what the hell? Does it really matter? There's nothing. The killing of the kid, it is pretty, you're like, oh, they went there. They killed the kid. I think, they've missed the trick though. Killing Carrie Guffey and obviously maybe killing him or infecting him. What are they doing? What do they do? You don't even know what they do. They crave blood, but are they eating the people? There is a line there. I'm sure it's the redneck bully. I'll feed it to them. I'll feed it to them. I'm sure there's a line like that, and because he attacks Holly, and then that's where I'm fucking whatever happens. Like in the big pell-mell sort of finale set piece. I'll feed it to them. Well, we haven't seen them feeding. We don't even know that's what they do. They get infected and they become like fucking grey, cadaverish, weird looking banshee things with hot hands and like they can melt windows and glass and stuff like that. But what do they actually do to anyone? Do they eat? How do you become infected? A bite will you infect? You don't know any of this shit whatsoever. So I think if you'd seen that and you knew what the actual evolution of the plague was, the contagion, then a bit more handle on it. I don't know. Anyway, folks, I can't really say any more about this movie, can I? It's okay. I have the full score for it as well. It came out limited edition with extra tracks on it, and it's splendiferous. It's available. You can get it's come out a couple of times in the last few years. You can definitely get, if not the limited edition full version, which I don't think you can get now. You can get the score with about 27 tracks on it, which is enough. It's got everything, pretty much everything. You can get that from Amazon right now, folks, right now, and it's fucking awesome. I'm dead surprised that he got National Philharmonic to do this. But they did a lot of, so many movies. The Wild Geese, Medusa Touch. I'm fucking plucking things. 70s and 80s, they did a hell of a lot of genre movies, be they sci-fi, horror, action, war. They did so many, and they must have loved it. This is the sort of thing. If I could play the instruments and I joined an orchestra, with me kilt up round my ears, playing the cello. Kilt-Man, put that away. Don't be playing with your banjo string now. That's the cello you're meant to be using. I'd have been like so excited playing all these scores. Wow, I would be too into it. So anyway, folks, I have been on with Shelby Kilt-Man. Please, in the meantime, it's ever like, oh fucking hell, mutating in between time. Please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic. I'm gonna see you all. Later. I'm gonna have some more of this, if you don't mind, because my cheeks haven't quite gone ruddy enough. This'll spare that on. It's Christmas time. I need me red cheeks for doing me Santa Claus stuff. They should have set this at Christmas time. A mutant Christmas would have worked. Would have worked. Could have had like Santa coming down the chimney. You could have people playing Santa, reindeers and all that. Like people in fact, Rabid. Cronenberg did it with Rabid. You had it was set at Christmas time, like so you had Christmas malls and like fucking rabid people like and Santa Claus was all fucking done in as well, like you could have had they're not frothing at the mouth. If this had been more like that, they've got it. They kind of it's stone like it doesn't really work. Anyway, I'm labouring the point there, aren't I? I've said enough, so I'm going. Ta-ra.